Hello you guys, and welcome to another episode of our Irish Country Life here on the west coast of Ireland. My name is Nikolai, and together with Chris doing the filming and the little boy Scooter who's off wandering, I'm going to show you a little bit of the cottage garden here today. So I fed the chickens, they're very content, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what happened the other day. We have a story to tell you about Seamus the hedgehog with Scooter. So we'll pop back to that. We'll revisit that a little bit later on in the video, and you can see how the story unfolded with Seamus the hedgehog. So here in the cottage garden, there was nothing here a few years ago. It was all scrub of old hedges and bushes and all sorts. So we set about clearing it and creating something that would resemble a cottage garden. It doesn't have a huge amount of colour at the moment because things kind of come a bit late in this garden, but that's okay, we don't mind. So I'll start off with this beautiful tree hydrangea that's next to me with a big furry leaf, and it has the most beautiful lace cap flowers which appear maybe next month. They started forming, so I think July, August they flower. In here to my right we've got I nearly killed a chicken. In here to my right, we've got some lovely variegated leaf grass, which is the zebra grass. These beautiful ferns, which I planted in 2.5 whiskey barrels. I wasn't really sure if they were the right ferns, what I was looking for. I was looking for the ones that have the bark and then they have the fern prongs that come out, almost like in a palm tree sort of thing. And they are the ones, and they are growing, and we've got some new fronds coming. And I think the idea is that you cut off the old ones towards the base and then you start to reveal more and more of the bark. But I need to seek advice on that from the man I bought them from first before I start cutting anything. Hello, Scoots. Welcome. So we've got one of those either side. On this side, we've got some pot with turcap lilies, which smell absolutely amazing. And then within the border, we've got a lovely big leaf rheum plant, which gets very big with very big leaves. We've got a lovely hydrangea, which is like a lime green flower. And then we've got a cornuscusa over here in the corner, which has got a really lovely flower. And it too is like a limey green color with a little bit of white at the edges. So that's all nicely tied in together. And we've got some wonderful Acamela mollis. And I remember going to my friend Anne's garden when she was open years ago and digging it out with a screwdriver out of her gravel driveway and thinking these babies will never survive. But I stuck my finger in the ground, I put them in all around the border, and hey, they've become ginormous and they've spread and they're now growing in my gravel. So if anybody wants some Acamela mollis, I won't charge you for it. Please do get in touch and come along and we can dig it up together and you can take it away. So as well as looking at this young man's adorable wee face, I want to show you this beautiful orange smock, it's called, and it has the most amazing smell. And normally this hedge is full of these flowers, and actually it is full. If you go up the top there, Chris, you'll get to see all the beautiful flowers from the orange smock. Chris has just told me to move away from the pretty flowers, dear. Okay, Scooter is going sunbathing. So in this pot, we've got a lovely artichoke, globe artichoke. And the reason why it's in a pot is because I have planted it in the ground several times before and I've never been successful with it. It's always disappeared. So I thought this time I'm going to buy one, but I'm going to put it into a pot where I can keep an eye on it. And it's doing very well. So in this bed, we have, again, another tree hydrangea rising up tall to the sky there at the back. We've got some lovely long blue and white monkshood, which flowers much later, maybe September time. We've also got some lovely Cephalaria gigantica, which has some beautiful pale yellow flowers that are almost like crepe paper. They dance in the wind. They're really lovely. And in here we have a huge area of aster, and this aster is white. And so it just happens that the white aster flowers at the same time as the white phlox and as the white Annabelle hydrangea. And somebody told me once with the white Annabelle hydrangea, if you cut back the stems, you get less flowers, but the flowers are much more profuse, so they're much bigger. And actually it's true, because I do that every year, and the flowers can be the size of footballs until the rain comes, makes them heavy, and they end up on the floor. Part of gardening, my friends. So, also in here, I did just spot something as I was talking to you, and I've just spotted a poppy. Wherever it's come from, it's about to poke its head out, and it's about to flower. Here we have some lovely rhododendrons. We have 3 separate ones. And then we also have the lilac tree. And I've put 2 together. One which was originally here with the house, which is the lilac one, and then I also put a white one, which has got its last remaining, oh no, it's got a few flowers on the top there, but this is its last remaining white flower on this branch here. My wisteria has flowered for the first time ever. White flowers. I thought it was lilac, but it's white. But never mind, a flower is a flower. It doesn't matter what color it is. And then moving on over here, we've got a selection of little terracotta pots filled with lots of pretty flowers and begonias. And I think I'm just going to have a seat. And Scooter, could you go and find somebody, please, and fetch them and ask them to make me a nice cup of tea and a slice of that lovely orange cake that we made yesterday? No chance. Yeah, that's what I thought. So Scooter's going to come and sit and join me. We're going to just bask in this glorious sunshine for the next few minutes. Okay, so in our forest bit here, which is lots of forest floor flowers. So you've got ferns, you've got hostas, and you've got hydrangea, and you've got Telema grandiflora. We've got the floor covering here. There's lots of lovely bluebells come up in the springtime and daffodils, and this is just a lovely forest floor. But what I wanted to show you here was, a couple of years ago, I did a woodworking class, and the teacher said to me, so what would you like to make? And I said to him, I'd like to make a birdhouse. So he said, no problem, that's easy. We've got lots for you to choose from. And he said, or have you got something in your head? And I said, yes, I do. So I showed him a picture of what I wanted, and it's the dovecote, English dovecote birdhouse. And he laughed and he said to me, that's not a birdhouse you want, that's a bird mansion or a bird chateau or a bird castle that you want to build. So I set about building it, and that's the end result. And I picked up on the little tops of the dovecotes with the lovely turquoisey colour paint, and I think it looks rather nice. Let me know in the comments if you like my bird chateau, bird mansion, bird castle. I think it looks kind of cute. So guys, all that's left to tell you now is to come inside with me, and we're going to make a beautiful chocolate marble cake, but we're going to put like a nice chocolate ganache glaze over the top to just give it that little bit of a twist to make it look a little bit more luxurious than just your normal marble cake. Truly decadent and indulgent. So finally, I'm going to introduce you to my two lovely workaways. I've got Siti here, who comes from Malaysia, and Jeff, who comes from the United States. And they're at the moment working very hard, painting up, staining, protecting whiskey barrels from all the elements of the rain that is the Irish countryside, and some green planters for down the driveway, where we're going to try and create a wildflower meadow as you drive up along the driveway of the house. But that can be for a video for another day. Now I'm going to go and just check on poor Seamus, but I'll fill you in on that story in just a moment. I'm going to go and see to Seamus if he's still there. Hey you guys, and welcome to another episode of our Irish Country Life here on the west coast of Ireland. So, myself, Nikolai, and the adorable little Scooter. Chris is still in London, so we're doing the filming for this short film today, and I want to talk to you about what happened yesterday. So Scoots and I decided to go for our walk as usual. We were walking up the lane, and Scooter came running back to me frantic to tell me something was wrong, so we decided to go and investigate. So I followed Scoots, and he led me to a little hedgehog which was lying in the middle of the road in the longish sort of grass, which didn't look very well. And so we thought, what should we do? We have to rescue him, bring him home, try and get him better, and then release him back out into the woodland bit. So we did. We came home, we rushed, we got a little box, we went back, we lined it with newspaper, we went back to him, we picked him up, we put him in the box, we took him back to the library where we had the wood-burning stove lit, and we left him beside the fire for several hours. Scooty kept checking back in on him to make sure he was doing okay. We gave him some water, and a few hours later he started to scuffle around the little box, so we knew that he seemed to be okay. And we left him overnight in by the fire. And so this afternoon we decided, on this cold, windy, blustery afternoon, that we would release him back out into the woodland, because maybe he's hungry and he needs some bugs. We did give him, Scooter kindly shared some of his food with him, which was adorable. And so we're now ready to release him back into the wild. So I want to introduce you, everybody, to Sheamus the Irish hedgehog. So you guys, this is Sheamus the Irish hedgehog. He's having a mooch around. And we're going to release him now out into the woodland bit so he can find his way back to wherever his little nest is. Hopefully he didn't have anybody relying on him overnight, because he spent the night in the library here at the house, enjoying the heat from the wood-burning stove. So come with me now to the woods, the Buddha walk, and that's where we shall release him. Okay, so there is little Seamus, and he's now out in the open, back in the woodland. There's his little nose moving about. He's having a little sniff. Hopefully he's going to poke his head out sometime soon and get moving. Come on, Seamus, we need you to start moving. He's hibernating still. I think he's still hibernating, Sheamus. He hasn't moved from the same spot that we've released him, but we have covered him over with some extra protection, and I think he thinks it's time for hibernating, so he seems to be hibernating. I just hope he has enough food stored to be able to keep him going. Perhaps I'll bring out a bowl of water for him. Okay, you guys, and now it's time for that delicious marble cake. So I'm going to make the marble cake, and we're going to put it in the oven, and then we'll come back and we'll make the chocolate ganache to go over the top. The cake doesn't have to have the ganache, but we want to do something a little more. So we're going to put the ganache over the top, and it just gives the cake that little bit of more richness, as if it doesn't need it already. So let me go through with you what you need. So I'm using for this one a bundt pan, which is the round one with the hole in the center. You can use a long loaf pan. If I'm making it for the garden party, I normally make it in the long loaf pan. And all you need to do with your bundt pan is just put a little tiny bit of vegetable oil in and around your pan. Give it a brush all the way around, making sure to coat it all in a nice little bit of oil. And then once you've done that, you just need to dust it with a little bit of flour. Okay, so we'll get this out of the way, and then I can run through all the ingredients with you. Okay, so that's all nicely brushed and oiled. Pop that there, and then just take a pinch of your flour and just throw it around your tin and shake it around like that. And that's basically, your tin is prepared. Okay, and that's what your tin will look like once you've done it. Okay, so you need to preheat your oven, and you need to put it at 180 Fahrenheit. You need to put it at 350 Celsius, or you need to put it at gas mark 4. And you need to get that preheated before you start mixing any of your ingredients. Okay, so for the cake, we'll run through the dry ingredients first. So you need 1 3/4 cups of self-raising flour. You need 1.5 cups of sugar, caster sugar, granulated sugar. You need 3 tablespoons of good quality cocoa powder, sieved. And you need 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. That's your dry ingredients. For your wet ingredients, you need 4 large free-range eggs, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and you need 1/2 cup of milk. Okay, that's our wet ingredients. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off by mixing our wet ingredients. So we're going to put our 4 large eggs into the bowl. We're going to put our vegetable oil in there. So our eggs and oil, and we're also going to put our milk in there. And we're going to put our sugar in there also. And we're going to blend all of those together. A couple of minutes with the mixer. Okay, so now that that's blended, we're going to add in our 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. 1.5. And then we're going to add our salt and baking powder into our flour. And we're just going to give that a little stir. This recipe is really easy, and you can throw this cake together in a matter of minutes if you get an unexpected guest decide to land on you, which often happens to me. And most of the ingredients you do have. Okay, maybe you might not have a little bit of cream to make the ganache, but you can make the cake without the ganache. Okay, and we'll do it in 2 batches. What we don't want to do is we don't want to mix this with the electric whisk, because if we do, we'll bring out the gluten in the flour and it'll start to make for a tougher cake. So we literally just want to incorporate all the flour. And I'm going to do it in 3 stages actually. Okay, so once you've incorporated your flour, then all that's left to do is to remove some of this mix from this bowl and pop it into your bowl with your cocoa powder, because this is going to be your dark mix for your marbling. I would probably put 1 cup of the batter in with the chocolate powder just to and give it a stir and just incorporate the cocoa into your batter. Okay, so now I've incorporated the cup of batter with the chocolate, and you've got that lovely dark chocolatey ooh la la gooey. Okay, so then we're going to get our batter from there into our bundt pan. Okay, so now we've got our batter into our bundt pan. We're going to put our chocolate batter in over the top, and we're going to use a wooden skewer or a metal skewer, or you can just use the spatula or a spoon or anything, just to incorporate it in throughout the cake, the other batter mix. So we'll just kind of run it round like so. And then you should get a lovely marbled effect throughout the cake. Okay, so once we've done that, let's scrape off all that goodness off the spatula. Let's not leave any of it behind. Okay, and I'm just going to use a wooden skewer, and you can use whatever you've got to hand. And literally just drag your chocolate through your batter so that you create a nice marbledy effect throughout the cake. And there you are, folks. That's chocolate marble cake. How easy was that? Into the oven it goes for about 40 minutes. And it will be cooked when you insert the other end of this wooden skewer inside, and it comes out clean. So I'm off to the oven. See you in 40 minutes. Okay, you guys, so the cake has had 50 minutes in the oven. I put it out in the tin on the cooling rack for 10 minutes, and then I just went round the edge with a non-serrated knife, just a plain blade knife, but it was fine. And then I put my thing on top and I turned it over, left it to go cold completely, and now we have our beautiful ring of marble cake. So we're going to transfer it onto a plate. Now it's completely cooled. And we're going to decorate it with a little bit of a chocolate ganache. This is basically, I had an Easter egg left over from Easter that I didn't want to eat, so I thought I'll melt it down. So basically, any bar of chocolate you like, be it dark chocolate, be it light chocolate, be it milk chocolate. A little bit of cream and a little bit of butter. Maybe a tablespoon of cream and a tablespoon of butter. Into the microwave, warm it all through until the butter is completely melted. And meanwhile, I've been sitting reading about Sheamus in my wildlife book. So let's put Sheamus aside. Oh, as soon as I mention Sheamus, look who appears. Or is it the chocolate, I wonder? I'm terribly sorry about that rude interruption, but Chris is going on about a fly that keeps flying all over the place, as if there's anything I can do about that. I'm not stopping from what I'm doing to kill a fly. Anyway, they always say Nikolai couldn't kill a fly, so I shan't. Now, so keep going with your chocolate, and you're just putting it on your spoon and you're going over and back and drizzling over and back to make a nice design. And I'm talking like as if there's going to be tons of chocolate left over, but there really isn't. Now, when I say an Easter egg, folks, this was a really small child's Easter egg. It was a Cadbury's button Easter egg, so there was a few buttons in there as well. Moist, beautifully marbled slice of marble cake. And I can hear Scooter grunting away there, like as if he's saying, what about me? So let's get out our slice of marble cake. And there you have it, my friends. A delicious marble cake. That's winding Scooter up. Thank you everybody for watching. Please do try and make the marble cake. So, from Nikolai, Chris and Scooter, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free. Hit the notification bell and we'll see you all again very soon for another episode of our Irish Country Life. Bye.